Good morning and welcome to Wild Wednesday here at the Kansas City Zoo. I'm your host, Allison, and I am here with Tim today, and we are in the Wings of Wonder Auditorium.
Yes.
I was hoping it would echo. It didn't.
No. No.
But it's a really cool space. We're on the stage right now, and we've actually got a lot of bird show helping us out today. So in a few minutes, you may see some things start flying everywhere. I think we have somebody, waiting in the wings. There she goes. That's Maleficent, right?
Maleficent,
or Mally.
yes.
And what is Mally?
Mally is a sub-Antarctic great horned owl. So she's a great horned owl, just like here in Missouri. But her coloring is a little bit different. She's very, very light in color because where she's from is up in Canada, and a lot more snow up there, a lot less green and dark stuff. So she blends in better.
She blends in really well. And I'm going to be honest, when she first flew out, I didn't quite notice her or hear her or anything.
That's an owl adaptation. Basically, their feathers are sort of serrated, and it's to keep them from making any noise. That's how they catch their prey. They are totally quiet as they fly. Wow. You hear her squawking, but she doesn't have to squawk. So if she's actually hunting, she'll be totally silent.
Wow. And they're nocturnal, right? So they're night hunters.
Yes,
so the quiet predator adaptations help them to stay quiet in a very quiet time of day. Yes, perfect. All right, so Mally is she's an owl, but she's classified as a bird of prey, right?
Yes,
so what does it mean to be a bird of prey?
Well, there's several animals that are in that, like hawks and eagles and owls and vultures and things like that. Those are all animals that will eat meat or eat carrion or kill their own prey. The difference between like an owl and an eagle is they may kill their prey outright so they can eat it, whereas a vulture is going to eat something that has already died. But they're all still birds of prey.
All right. Now, since they are these kind of hefty predators, what are some of those physical adaptations that help them to be predators?
Well, in her case, with an owl, she has fantastic sight because she's going to do it in real low light. Her hearing is spectacular, so she can hear things from a long ways away that we couldn't hear. And she can actually, because her ears are set at different sides of her head, they're at different heights, she can sort of triangulate just by turning her head a little bit and know exactly where that sound is coming from.
So she's got like surround sound.
Kind of.
That is a superpower I want to have.
They definitely have that superpower. But again, at night when she's chasing mice that are going under the leaf litter or whatever, and she can't see them, the only way she's going to know where they are is to be able to hear them.
Wow, that's really, really cool. Thank you so much, Mally, for joining us. Thanks, Darcy, so much. We'll see maybe another friend here in a few minutes. But at the Wings of Wonder Bird Show, we've, I like the title, Wings of Wonder. So we know we're dealing with winged animal friends. It is all birds, right?
It is
no bats or anything like that.
No bats.
But they are winged wonders. So what makes them so wonderful? What makes this show so wonderful? What are we going to see?
Well, we have a huge bird collection that is in our Wings of Wonder Bird show. So as we were talking, we need to let the audience know that each show is very different from every other show. We usually have anywhere between 7 and 14 birds in the show, both pre-show and during the show. And they will come out and do any number of things. We've got parrots and macaws that'll come out and do behaviors on stage. Almost all of our birds will fly. So right here in this big, beautiful auditorium, they'll be flying right over your head. The range of birds that we have is everything from a little Australian kookaburra. All the way to our East African crowned crane.
Wow.
And I mean, so everything from little time
to really, really big.
Yes.
Now, it looks like we've brought out our friend, the blue and gold macaw, Aramis, correct?
Yes.
All right. And I know that Aramis has been here at the zoo for a couple years, and she's not alone. She's got some friends that she hatched here with, correct?
Aramis, we have several blue and gold macaws. Actually, 4 blue and gold macaws are in our collection. All of them were hand raised, and we got them as hand raised birds.
Okay.
We have 3 additional macaws that are also in our show.
That's right.
And those are the ruby macaws. They were actually hatched and parent raised right here on zoo grounds. And we just started working with them when they were very young to get them used to the staff and the different trainers, so they would be good ambassador animals.
So is it a little more difficult working with an animal that started off being raised by its parents and then transitioning it over to being to working with trainers all the time?
No, it's funny that you say that, actually, because sometimes people think, oh, well, parent raised, that would be a lot harder. The way we did it, having it parent raised, and then we went in and intervened and worked with those animals while they were still in the nest with their mother, made it much easier for us later on.
Wow.
Sometimes animals that have been hand raised by people or whatever, they might get a little neurotic sometimes. Now, our macaws that were hand raised are totally fine, but sometimes people don't know how to do training as they're hand raising, and then you get, they pick up bad habits, and then you have to deal with the bad habits then for the rest of their life.
And birds have some, I wouldn't want a bird with bad habits. They've got big beaks and giant claws. So I understand that training is very important when it comes to that. Now, we saw a bird of prey. We saw the owl, Mally. Now we're looking at Aramis, the parrot. Now they look like, color-wise, they're very different birds. But what's the difference between being a parrot and being an owl or one of those big raptors?
Well, the macaws, like we're flying right now, they are one of the largest parrot species. But parrots are very social. They aren't meat eaters for the most part. They will eat what they find sometimes, but it's mostly seeds and fruits and things like that that they would find. So their diet is very different than a raptor. Their behavior is very different than a raptor. A lot of times you'll see a hawk just sitting alone by itself in a tree, and that's because it's busy hunting, and it doesn't share. It hunts by itself. Whereas the macaw might be in a tree in the jungle, and there might be 50 of them in the tree because they are very social animals, and they like to spend time together.
I couldn't imagine 50 of those chatty things in one tree. That makes me actually think, what's the bird show room like with all those talkers?
It can get loud. Yes. We don't worry about what the hawks and the owls are doing because they're usually pretty quiet when they're back there. But the macaws, when they're in that room, can get quite loud and noisy.
Quite loud. Well, we did mention earlier that these macaws, some of them were hatched right here at the zoo. Some of them were hand raised and coming from other facilities. What are some other ways that we actually got some of our birds here at Wings of Wonder?
Well, in just a minute, we're going to have another bird come out, and that bird was actually a rehab bird from a local nature center. It was orphaned as a very, very young bird, and at some point, we can't release back into the wild because they're too imprinted on people. We have had that issue with birds in the past, and the rehabbers know that too. So we have a bald eagle that is also here part of our collection that they attempted to release a couple of times back into the wild, and because it was imprinted enough or whatever, or kept coming into human contact, they said, hey, this isn't going to work for this bird to be released, and we try to find a home in captivity. The bird that we have coming out now is actually our new turkey vulture baby. And he doesn't look quite like a baby anymore, but when we got him, he was just a big ball of white fluffy down. So
he's quite different than that now. Oh, look at that. This is Herman, right?
This is Herman.
Now, I'll say he does look different than when I think of a full-grown vulture. Usually they've got a pretty dark pink red face. So is he going to grow into that?
Yes.
Or is this him?
No. He's definitely going to get that bright red head, but he is still basically a baby.
Wow.
So
how long is it going to take for him to be full grown? About how long?
He is over a year now. I think it's just now a year. And it'll probably be 3 years before he's fully colored into his.
That's so cool. But he gets to spend his developmental years here learning all kinds of things at the zoo. And
Yeah.
he's an incredible, especially because of his story, he's an incredible ambassador animal here at the zoo.
Yes.
So can you talk a little bit about what it means to be an ambassador animal at Wings of Wonder?
Well, we have, I mean, all of our birds here in Wings of Wonder are all ambassador animals. And basically what an ambassador animal is just an animal that we have in our collection that we can show the public as they come in and teach them a little bit about what they might do in the wild. Very, very rarely is a person going to be able to get this close to a turkey vulture. They're just not gonna, you know, you might see them on the side of the road as you drive by in the car, but if you ever stop your car, they fly away. They're like, I don't want to be with you.
Yeah.
So, Herman, as well as all of the other birds that we have in the show, are to let the audience, let our guests get close up and get a feel for what those birds would be doing. And then at the same time, we're telling their story and letting you know more information about them. So the hope is that someone will come in, sit down, enjoy the show, and then act upon that somehow. And maybe they volunteer at their local nature center, or maybe they donate to a conservation project in their neighborhood or something like that.
Even walking away from a show realizing that these guys are in our own backyard is really important, and just being mindful about the things we put in our yards or how we care for the world around the space that we take up here, even in our hometown in Kansas City, is really important. I think that's why Herman's story is so special, because he is kind of a little hometown hero, and we have all kinds of birds like that, which is really, really cool. Well, thanks so much to Tim, to Darcy, to Hannah, and Tanner. They've all helped us out today in coordinating all this bird behavior. We've had a ton of fun at Wings of Wonder, but we want you to let everybody at home know what when do we do bird shows here at the zoo? Does it change throughout the year?
It does change throughout the year. So we currently are doing a 10:30 bird show, 11:30 bird show, and then our mixed species show, which is in the same auditorium, is at 2:30 in the afternoon.
All right.
Our winter season will go to the one bird show at 11:30 and then the mixed species show. And in the summer, we have 6 shows a day, so there's always something going on.
There's always something going on this stage. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in this Wednesday. Make sure you come to the zoo, you check out these birds, you check out all the animal ambassadors that we have on grounds. Until then, have a wild Wednesday. See you later, guys.
Bye.